welcome back to 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒅 Terrible. Today we have a Pokemon Expert Impressionist featuring the new Golisopod from Pokemon Go, with the first impression attack doing 20 base damage plus 90 more if this Pokemon move from your bench to the active spot during this turn. So it's doing 110 damage for only 1 energy, and all you have to do is switch or retreat every single turn. And for that we have our Sneasler from Astral Radiance with the carry and climb ability, allowing you to reduce your active Pokemon's retreat cost by 2 colorless as long as this Pokemon is on your bench. We can't even retreat with our wimpod for 0 cost if our opponent has any V Pokemons in play with the Punk Out ability. So the main strategy of this deck is to do our turbo attack with first impression, hitting 140 damage with Choice Belt, and then collecting the knockout with our Farfetch'd using its powerful Leek Lash. We have our regular starter cards, 4 VIP Pass, 2 Level Ball, 2 Quick Ball, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 3 Incense, and 1 Ultra Ball. For our draw support, we have 2 Marnies, 4 Research, 1 Schoolgirl, 1 Shauna, 1 Cynthia, 1 Bruno, 1 Birdkeeper, and 1 Radiant Greninja. We're also playing 1 Training Card to retrieve our Water Energies and 1 Capacious Bucket to get it out from the deck, 2 Boss Order for the extra power play, 1 Raihan to up our Farfetch'd or Greninja attack, 2 Raws to recycle our Pokemon's and energy, and 1 Manaphy for the bench barrier. So that's all for the deck list, and if you guys are in need of any specific cards or packs for your own PTCG account, feel free to contact our sponsor from X-Trainer90 team for the best price in Pokemon TCG online codes. You can contact them through the links in the description below, or you can click on the top right corner of this video. They even got complete personal decks you could purchase, full art, secret rare gold cards to add to your collection, and packs from any expansion in format. Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Rebel Clash, you name it. And now let's go for gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Water deck. We got Ice Rider with Inteleon. We got our Golisopod, Water versus Water, but we have our Sneasler as well, the new Astral Radiance Hisuian Sneasler, not that new, but it is kind of the main set from July, one of the previous main sets. Pokemon Go is kind of a side set, I would say, but you know, there are a lot of new cards that you get to feature. And for this video, we actually get to play the new Pokemon Go Golisopod. So we're doing only 110 damage with this attack, but we get to boost the amount we are doing with our Choice Belt, 30 more damage. We have no Hawlucha, but we do have that Farfetch'd to help us do twice the amount of damage, and then plus 20 base, and plus even more with our Choice Belt. So if they have 140, if they have 14 damage counter on their Ice Rider VMAX, or any VMAX for that matter, any V card, once they evolve, we can actually kill a VMAX with 330 HP. Because we get to do 140 plus 20 plus another 30 with our Choice Belt. If we have 2 Choice Belt, both on the Golisopod and the Farfetch'd, we get to do 140 first, and then you know, collect the knockout against a 330 HP Pokemon by doing 140 plus 50 for your Farfetch'd's Leek Lash attack. So that's 190 plus 140 is enough to kill a 330 HP Pokemon. I'm probably over-explaining myself as usual, sorry guys, but the math is there. So Farfetch'd is actually really good just because we are playing a turbo attacker for this deck as well. So stage 1, 1 energy attacker, you actually get to do the attack very fast, especially if they're playing V cards. You get to retreat with your Wimpod, you don't even need your Sneasler. That's the good thing about this new Pokemon Go card, is that you actually get to use Punk Out ability to retreat your Wimpod to your Golisopod immediately on your second turn, right after evolving your bench Golisopod. So you don't need Sneasler for your first strike, but for your second though, if they don't knock out your Golisopod, your first Golisopod, you actually need to retreat with that one. So you may need to add like Birdkeeper switch or switch cards in your deck. Switch card doesn't work for evolution Pokemon, let's remember that. So I actually faced up against a Darkrai VSTAR deck which used switch card, and they forgot that it doesn't work for evolution cards. So they tried to switch the VSTAR with the switch card, but it doesn't work because they actually Star Abyss for it. So so remember, always remember the small stuff, and switch is gonna get rotated for the next set, I think, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna come back though. If there's no more switch cards other than Escape Rope and switch card, then that would be horrible, because switch card only works for basic Pokemon. So Sneasler is really good post-rotation, I suppose, if there are no other switch cards. There we go, we did 190 damage, killing an Ice Rider VMAX on our third turn, which is delicious. I think it's our third turn, I'm not too sure, but we actually attached like a lot of energies, so it may be our fourth turn, I'm not too sure honestly. Here comes the shady dealings for Melanie. They're gonna recharge and evolve They're gonna recover immediately after the first knockout, which is like what Ice Riders do, right? They got a Raihan instead of the Melanie because they need the evolution. So no choice belt because we are playing a one prize, but they should be faster, right? They should be playing Ice Rider much faster. I suppose they didn't get their Sobbles out in time. So we got a lot of basic summons. That's the power of this deck. We need a lot of basic summons, honestly. If we don't bench on our basics early in the game, we can't actually make full use the full advantage of this power attacker. So the main selling point of our Golisopod is that 1 energy turbo attack, and for it to do the turbo attack, we need to be able to bench at least 2 wimpods. So have at least 2 wimpods in play on your first turn from the get-go, and then after that on your second turn, all you need to do is evolve 1, retreat or switch. We actually have 1 Bird Keeper for the switch as well. No escape rope, no switches because we have our Sneasler for that power switch. If they play a Galarmine, we got our 1 stadium card, we got our training court. We actually initially had 2 copies of the stadium, but eventually I decided to just swap 1 for another rod just because rod is that essential. If you don't have enough rods in the deck, you can't actually revive your attacker, and we only have nothing but Farfetch'd and Golisopod to attack. We can also attack with Greninja, but you know, you have to discard your energy with that attack. Moonlight Shuriken only does 90 to 2 Pokemons, and if your opponent playing Manaphy, you can't actually hit the bench. So Greninja is not actually a very strong attacker, but it can actually help you collect the knockout if they keep on retreating to the bench. Like, if they don't play Manaphy's, if they keep retreating and, you know, saving their VMAX on the bench, you can actually hit them for the knockout. So we did our Raihan for a level ball. I think we're going to search for a second Wimpod. We don't have any more Wimpods, so I think we're just going to search for our Farfetch'd. Try to kill the final Ice Rider with the Farfetch'd. Are we going to just draw cards? I think we decided to draw. Okay. Because we have enough turns to kill the Ice Rider with three first impressions. We actually do have 2 Farfetch'd for this list, for this game, but the final upgrade, I decided to just, you know, fit in only 1 copy of Farfetch'd, just because we need, it's more pressing to have, you know, the basic summons. So we actually have more balls after this game, as opposed to, you know, the original version. The original version, we had 2 Farfetch'd, no heavy ball. I think we have a heavy ball, but we only have like 1 level ball and 2 quick balls or something like that. Like 1 less basic summon. So we actually need a lot of basic summon, otherwise we're not going to be able to pull off that first impression on our second turn, which is what we need to do like crazy. It's like urgent. If we can't do that, this deck is not going to work. That's how important it is. So we need like a solid 10 copies at least of basic summons. We got 4 VIP Pass, 2 level ball, 2 quick ball, 1 ultra ball for the basic summon, and that's only 9. We got 1 heavy ball, which kind of works as a basic summon, so that's kind of 10, which is not bad. But we do have a solid 4 copies of the Wimpod, so if we get 1 to start, we can actually level ball for another, and that's good enough. That's actually good enough. Or if we get a Hisuian Sneasler, we can actually retreat whatever we have in the active, and then get a Wimpod on the bench, and then we're good to go for our first strike, first impression, for our very first strike using our Golisopod. Okay, we're gonna do... we don't have a Farfetch'd, we have too many balls in our hands, so are we gonna do a research right now? I don't know. I think we're just gonna play our Shauna and then search out our third Golisopod, because we may need the boss for later, because we don't have a Farfetch'd. We're gonna need to rely on that boss to help us collect the knockout against the bench Ice Rider. They're probably gonna retreat on the next turn. If we don't get a boss in time, we're completely screwed, but they do have 3 prize cards remaining though, so let's see what's gonna happen. We have to retreat right now. We need 1 more strike to kill the Ice Rider. If they play Cheryl, we're completely screwed. You never know what's gonna happen. If they play a Cheryl, I don't know what to say. Because then we actually need 2 more strikes. And both with Choice Belt, if we don't have a Choice Belt on both the Farfetch'd and Golisopod, We are completely screwed. So I actually played Ice Rider with Frostlass. When it first came out, I tried Frostlass, Ice Rider, Melanie, and Cheryl. Because if you play Melanie, you can't actually play Cheryl at the same time. But if you play Cheryl, you get to recover all damage counter from your Ice Rider with Big Charm attached. Obviously, then you get to, you know, do a lot more, tank a lot more damage with your VMAX. And then you actually get to reattach the energy from your discard pile with your Frost Over ability, using your Frostlass by evolving it from your hand, and then scoop it up to recycle the ability. And it's a stage 1 as well. It's a very handy card to use, very easy to use card, and you actually get to recover full damage from your Ice Rider VMAX, and then do what do you call that? Max Lance all over again, right? If you have to discard both energies, 250 damage. To strike that much damage every single turn, then you're gonna have to play your Frostlass every turn though. So obviously on your next turn, if they don't attack, or if they do like only 100 damage or like 120 or something like that, if you can tank 2 hits with your Ice Rider, then the first hit actually allows you to do Melanie. After tanking the first hit, you get to play Melanie, and then after tanking the second one, only then should you be playing your Cheryl to do, you know, Cheryl and Frostlass at the same time for your Max Lance a third time. Okay, we're gonna play our boss, our research right now. I'm over explaining myself as usual. Let's just focus on the current game. We got our Greninja for the concealed cards. Are we gonna play the ability to draw more? We should be drawing as much as we can. We don't have a choice belt. We need choice belt on both, so this is actually pretty bad. We're either, we should either search for that boss order to kill the bench VMAX, or search for 2 choice belt to kill the active. But it's not that easy. I think it's better to just, you know, dig out that boss, because we actually have 2 copies inside the deck and we haven't used a single one. Which is pretty ridiculous that we actually, you know, played a Shauna to shuffle it back and we still didn't get any. So it's actually pretty ridiculous. After research, we still didn't get any. I'm just gonna drag it out here and, you know, retreat and do first impression, and then maybe Farfetch'd later. I don't know what to do, honestly. Okay, we actually decided to retreat to Sneasler, because if they kill one of our attackers, we may not have the other ready to go, right? But it's okay to sacrifice the Golisopod or the Farfetch'd, honestly, because whatever happens, we have the other to attack with. If they play Avery, we're just gonna discard the Greninja, unless if we got no boss. There we go, we got the boss. I think it's over. Unless if they kill the Sneasler. If they boss the Sneasler, oh, they can't do a boss. They already did the Marnie. So that Marnie actually saved us the entire game. But if they didn't do the Marnie though, we could actually do concealed cards to draw two more, plus that top deck. We may actually draw the boss order out, or not, because we actually got an Ultra Ball as well in our hand. So we may just drew like, you know, 2 VIP and an Ultra Ball and no boss. Then that will actually screw us over. So Marnie is actually helping us a lot for this game. Thank you for that, Marnie. You never know if your opponent has a boss in their hand. You never know, honestly. So Marnie could either rescue you for that, you know, last minute victory, or just screw you over for that last minute defeat. We got 2 bosses with concealed cards, and we finally killed the second VMAX with first impression. We couldn't do our Leek Lash just because we gambled on drawing even more cards for some reason. We don't have to, but we should be attacking with Farfetch'd because we get to do like 270 damage with Leek Lash, which is bonkers. Banana bonkers, but oh well. First impression does the trick, and we killed the final VMAX for the 3 prize. Okay, right now it's a very interesting game. We actually are facing against Tricky Jim's Blastoise, Charizard, and Senti-Scorch deck. I don't really like this deck because in my opinion, it's actually trash. Because they're playing so many evolutions. You're playing 2 stage 2 Pokemons, 2 different stage 2s, and a stage 1 attacker. That's just horrible. Like, you don't have enough setup. You don't have enough basic summons, you don't have enough ways to draw out your 𝑑𝑗𝑠i or even search for it, let alone play it. They have 4 Irida, but if they don't get the Irida, they can't play their VIP pass. Only 1 VIP pass. It's just ridiculous. It's fucking bonkers. So they are basically preying on opponents that, you know, are not aware of the strategy. Because if you are aware that they are playing Centiskorch, and if they don't have a 𝑑𝑗𝑠i every single turn on the active, then you could actually do a boss to kill the Centiskorch, right? And at one point, they're gonna definitely be out of 𝑑𝑗𝑠is, or like couldn't search for it because they don't have enough, you know, they don't have enough level balls, they don't have enough basic summons. Like, it's impossible. This deck is just impossible. And if you play Starbirth, you're gonna search for your boss like within a single turn that easily, and you can just like with a flick of a hand in a single turn just search for your boss and it's gone. All those energies invested on Centiskorch gone in a second. Like, how stupid is this? This deck is so stupid. And everybody's like, whoa, it's so great. It's stupid, guys. Come on. Open your fucking eyes. This deck is trash. You're playing so many evolutions. It's ridiculous. You don't have space for your setup. You don't have space for your supporter cards. You don't have space for anything. It's stupid. It's trash. They're only drawing 2 cards with Greninja. And for this game, they got really lucky. They got everything that they need. So this player is actually quite smart. She actually is playing a Lucky Egg instead of the regular supporters. She is playing Irida, Rare Candy, Blastoise, and Charizard. But she has a different sort of support in terms of draw, how to draw cards into the hand. So she has a Lucky Egg. So playing 𝑑𝑗𝑠i actually forces you to kill it in the active spot. You can't actually boss anything on the bench unless if they have a Blastoise. You can still boss the Blastoise and avoid the Lucky Egg effect. But if you don't plan on doing that, or if you can't actually draw out the boss in time, you're forced to, you know, kill the 𝑑𝑗𝑠i and, you know, give them that extra cards into their hand, helping them do Rare Candy or Raihan more easily. They even have a Raihan, which is quite unexpected. So Raihan to search for the extra card. They don't have any other way to search for those supporters though. It is quite ridiculous. I mean, so many stage 2, stage 1, like, oh my god. Do they even have rods? Do they even have ways to shuffle back the Centiskorch? Like, now they don't have a 𝑑𝑗𝑠i. Look at that. Now they don't have a 𝑑𝑗𝑠i. If we are playing an Arceus deck, they would be dead by now. Like that Centiskorch, look at that. They are passing the turn. They are ending the turn with no 𝑑𝑗𝑠i and that one Centiskorch on the bench. Naked, fucking naked. Free to be bossed and knocked out. And they are taking so much risk. It's a stupid deck, guys. It's a stupid deck. Tricky Jim is idiot. He's an idiot. I mean, come on. Like, it's so retarded. You're playing so many Pokemons. Common sense. It's not gonna work. We didn't get our boss, that's why. If you play even a Genesect deck, if you play a Genesect to draw cards into your hand, like a Mew VMAX, you're probably gonna get your boss very fast, and you don't need to worry about them because they need to end their turn. They need to end their turn to be able to play that card, and you can't even play your Fusion Strike Cross Switcher for your Mew deck. You can even play your Dialga V-Star with your Cross Switcher, which is not gonna work, you know, which 𝑑𝑗𝑠i is not gonna be able to block. 𝑑𝑗𝑠i only blocks off supporter cards, so you can still use Pokemon Catcher, Cross Switcher against 𝑑𝑗𝑠i's ability. You can still drag out Centiskorch on the bench. So let's focus on this current game. Right now we have no boss, which is okay. We are trying to collect extra prizes with our Moonlight Shuriken. So our saving grace right here is our Greninja. We don't need the boss. We don't need to be searching for cards. We should not be drawing anymore. We should be playing Marnie if we want to, just to get different cards into our hand. And then I actually prefer to play Marnie later because we actually get to put them back into the hand and kind of replenish our deck, you know, just to save us a few extra turns. So again, no 𝑷𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔 passing the turn. Second turn already, no 𝑷𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔. We didn't get our boss for 2 turns straight. If you're playing against Arceus VSTAR, if you're playing against Bibarel decks, if you're playing against any Chinchino decks, any normal deck, any fucking normal deck, they would be able to boss you by now. Like, fuck. Come on, common sense. How dumb is that? How fucking dumb is that? Blastoise for a fucking Scentiscorch. Blastoise and Charizard. What the fuck? It doesn't work. Okay, we're gonna do our first impression. I don't really care. They are drawing cards into their hand. They're probably gonna get the Charizard because we actually gave them like 7 cards now. Rare Candy Evolution. And they even have a bench, what's it called? A bench Sizzlipede as well. They actually played a Magma Basin as well. So they're playing a lot of different cards. They actually have like 2 Lucky Egg, 1 Raihan, a few Basins as well. It's really, really weird. It's a kind of a quirky deck. Because it's not your normal average kind of supporters that they're playing. So they have 26 discards, possibly more if they attach from their hand, 28 if they attach this turn, and that means we got 3 turns left, which is fine, because we got our Greninja to collect 2 prizes on the next turn. That means we just need 3 more turns, honestly. So Greninja is going to help us a lot. If they don't play Manaphy, I don't think they have a Manaphy. They don't have the space for that. If they do have a Manaphy, it's probably going to get prized because they're playing so many Pokemons. And if it is prized, they don't have a heavy ball to get it out. So that's how stupid this deck is. Do you see it now? Do you see it now? If you don't, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I don't believe it. Like, everyone is like super hyped with this deck. It's so dumb. Come on. It's so dumb. It doesn't work. Do you see how many turns they pass without a 𝑷𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔 in the active spot? They pass so many turns without a 𝑷𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔. It's so stupid. And what's gonna happen if they boss your Blastoise? Like, the first time round, okay, I can understand. You can do your Vitality Spring the first time, but before you can do it for the second time, they're probably gonna boss your Evolution card. Your 𝑷𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔 doesn't protect your Blastoise. If they boss your Blastoise, what's gonna happen? What the fuck's gonna happen? It's so stupid. There's so many counters for that. I can't stand it, and everyone is like, whoa, this deck is so good. It's trash. It's fucking trash. Open your fucking eyes. Okay, now they got no Scentiscorch, no Sizzlipede, nothing in play that could discard at all. Thanks to Greninja. We got 4 cards left, 4 turns, which is fine. But right now, if they are able to bench another Sizzlipede, if they do have a Rod, I doubt that. I doubt that they can actually get it out into their hand. And they actually got lucky enough to get a Cynthia. I have no idea how. Like, they actually get to play a supporter card every single turn. I have no idea how they managed to do that. I think it's because they actually get to, you know, attaching energy from the deck with Blastoise actually compresses the deck a lot. That means you actually get to search for your, you know, you're more likely to get your supporter cards from the top deck that way, but you're not drawing a lot though. They're only drawing 2 cards with Greninja, and they shouldn't be getting anything, honestly. And look at that, they got no rods, they couldn't shuffle back Sizzlipede, Scentiscorch. It's dead. Like, Scentiscorch is gone. That's it. No more Scentiscorch. We even got a Bruno to shuffle back all the cards from our hand. We're playing it right now. We're gonna fucking play it right now. Now we got so many turns left. Look at that. Now we got 7 turns left. 7 fucking cards in our hand, in our deck. Good luck, mate. Good fucking luck. One prize remaining. Look at that. How are you gonna fucking survive? Tank with Blastoise? Good luck. We got Greninja. We got no Menifee. We got Greninja. Fucking idiot. I don't believe it. Like, everyone's like, whoa, that deck is so good. I'm gonna wet my pants just watching you win with that deck. Oh. Fucking idiot. It's so bad. Oh my goodness. You have no idea how bad it is. This is just trash. They couldn't even get Diancie for 2 turns, guys. No Diancie for 2 turns. Do you know how bad that is? They're using Vitality Spring with no Diancie for 2 turns. Starbirth, Shady Dealings. Hello, boss. Hello, Starbirth, Shady Dealings. You can't survive that. Fucking idiot. So stupid. Playing a stage 2 and a stage 1 is already way too much to fit. I tried Charizard with Scorch, it's already way too much to fit. You have to think about your supporter cards, your basic summons, your evolution, your rare candy. You have to think about so many things that you can't actually fit enough to make the deck work. But I actually tried with Entei for the extra draw support and for the power, the turbo attack, because Entei actually gets to do Entei gets to do Burning Rondo for a fast attack to do a lot of damage early, and that actually helps you, survive a bit longer, tank a lot of damage as well because it has a lot of HP. So Entei is perfect for that deck. But Blastoise, come on, like, common sense. The best strategy for a stage 2 card is to play basic Pokemons, because that actually makes it very consistent. It makes the deck very consistent in a way that you have a lot of space left for your supporter cards, for your trainer cards, for your item, energies. It's gonna work really well. It's gonna have a really good cohesion because you have enough trainer cards to make the deck work, and the Pokemon is not gonna be too much. There's not too much Pokemon cards in the deck, so much so that you couldn't draw out the things that you need at just the right time. You couldn't have a Diancie at every single turn that you needed, which is the thing that you need every single turn, and they couldn't pull it off. It's trash. Common sense, they don't have it. A very good Blastoise deck that I've seen though is Blastoise with Yveltal. So Yveltal, amazing rare, is a basic, and it does a one-hit knockout effect for 5 energies. So you need 3 different types of energy and 2 colorless. So Blastoise is perfect for that card. With Diancie, it's very easy to get your Diancie because you have enough space in your deck to fit in for your level balls. You have enough fucking space for trainer cards to search for Diancie, to retreat to the Diancie, to fucking have a Diancie in the active spot every single turn until you have enough energies to attack with your Yveltal. Common sense! Ugh! I'm flipping out, I'm sorry guys, I can't. There's so many idiots in this world. Giving credit where credit is not due. Like, come on, that deck is so bad. So bad. Okay, right now we're up against a shady Lucario deck, which is pretty interesting. Lucario 1 prize versus Golisopod 1 prize, and we got our first prize, which is very promising. It's looking very good for us, and here comes the bench Riolu. I think we actually did a boss on the last turn, So that means they couldn't attack this turn, and we're getting our second prize. We are 2 steps ahead, which is a big plus. And we couldn't actually retreat with the Sneasler without attaching the energy, because the ability only works on the bench. So Sneasler only reduces your active Pokemon's retreat cost by 2 colorless if it stays on your bench. That means if they boss a Sneasler, you're gonna have to waste that 1 energy. And if they play a Galarmine, you can't actually retreat that easily. That's why we have 2 copies of Sneasler and that 1 extra Bird Keeper for security. Only 1 Stadium card, which is a bit sad. I tried with 2 Stadium, we don't have enough basic summon, I think I mentioned that already. I tried with less energy, doesn't work. So I tried 9 energies, really bad. I tried 10 without Capacious Bucket, doesn't work. So I mean, this deck is really difficult. It's like so demanding in terms of what you need at just the right time. You can't actually afford to play less than 4 research, because if you don't draw out the right things, you're not going to be able to survive. You're not going to be able to do first impression every turn, which is what you are required to do in order to get the winning condition. So thank God Lucario is placing damage counter on itself. If they play Raihan, if they're smart enough to play Raihan for the next Lucario without using its ability for that extra energy, then they can actually avoid the knockout. Because we're only doing 110 damage with first impression. We are not doing a knockout without their own damage counters. They may not get the Raihan in time though, but they do have shady dealings, like come on. It would actually be quite easy to pull it off. Raihan to search for an energy. And then if they don't have a second shady though, they can't actually what's it called? They can't actually search for the evolution. So they need to Raihan for the evolution instead of the energy, and they may not be able to do that. So there we go. They are playing a stage 2 Inteleon. Even Inteleon has its limits. Stage 2 with stage 1, already you see there is limitations in terms of how many supporter cards they get to play, how many items, like how fast the deck is, and you know, how the deck runs. It's not that smooth because you have a stage 2 and a stage 1. If you're playing Inteleon, it's a bit more smoother because you get to search for anything you like, but it is still a stage 2. I want to remind you guys that it's still a stage 2, and you only get to search for 1 for each Drizzile. So that's why it's better to have your Inteleon in the deck. If they don't have enough searches, they can't do the Raihan for the extra energy. And we are killing the Lucario every single turn. So I think we should be doing Raihan to the Greninja, but I didn't actually have the foresight to do that. I think we did it though this turn. I'm not sure what we're doing. Oh, we didn't have the foresight. So we have 2 Raihans, so we should be playing them the minute we got it in our hand. We can't even search for a second Raihan with that first one, and then, you know, play our Moonlight Shuriken on the next turn. I'm not sure if they have a Manaphy, but it doesn't seem like they, you know, are benching any at the moment. Probably has a Manaphy, right? Any one price card would have any one price deck would have a Manaphy. Except for that ridiculous Scorch deck. Don't get me started on that deck. Oh my god. So stupid. Okay, here comes another Lucario. We have a Raihan. If they play Roaring Resolve, they're done. There we go. They keep doing that ability, which is quite stupid. I don't think they have that many Raihans. Because Raihan actually helps you do more damage as well. If you're playing against a V deck, a VSTAR VMAX, you need a lot of energies on Lucario, right? They may have energy switch, what's it called, Gutsy Pickaxe or something like that, but even those actually help you prevent the damage counter placement. So I have no idea what they're gonna do right now, or why they actually played the Cynthia instead of the Raihan. And they just did the damage counter again. Look at that. How silly is that? I guess maybe they weren't aware that we're only doing 110 damage because it's a new card. It's a very new card. I actually thought when I first played this deck, when I first built it, I thought it was 120, but it is basically trash though, isn't it? 1 energy is quite good, but it's only 110 damage. You can't even kill a Lucario with 1 hit if they don't place damage counters on itself. You can't kill a Regigigas. If you're up against a Regigigas deck, you completely lose because the Choice Belt is not doing anything. You can't do extra damage with Articuno. Articuno only works for basic Pokemon. So Golisopod is trash against any, you know, 1 price deck that has more than 110 HP. If they play Miltank, I suppose that's why so many new 1 price basics, like Cramorant, the Lost Cramorant from Lost Origin is gonna have 110 HP as well, and it actually does 110 damage for his attack. So that's why so many Pokemon has 110 HP now, because 110 is kind of the new fast attack. Because Cramorant gets to do 110 damage for zero energy cost. If you have a certain amount, I think four cards in the Lost Zone, I'm not too sure, I think 4 cards. Okay, we're gonna retreat to Golisopod. I don't think we have... Okay, we need to find an evolution. Are we gonna play a Bruno, Marnie, or a Raihan? So we still have not attached the energy to the Greninja. And oh, look at that, I made a mistake. I made a really terrible mistake and I wanted to concede but I realized that we are actually 1 step ahead, still 1 step ahead. So we actually get to pass this turn doing nothing. Because we got 3 prize, they got 4 prize. We made a mistake of attaching to the wrong wimpod. We attached the energy to the one that we just benched this turn, so that means we can't evolve that wimpod, which is just ridiculous. So make sure you're alert every single turn. Don't make any stupid mistakes. I made a really dumb mistake this turn. Really dumb mistake. If they play a Marnie, we're probably gonna get our Incense, so, or a supporter card. Okay, they are doing a boss on the Sneasler. I think we need to play like a Raihan or a Rod. I'm not sure what you should be playing here. If we do a Raihan, we can actually charge up our Greninja for 2 energies this turn and possibly kill the Sobble and Rizal on the next turn if they don't play Inteleons. Because I don't see any Inteleons for so many turns now. They may have only the stage 1. So I'm not sure what I'm doing right here. I'm like analyzing. Right, I'm thinking whether I could use Farfetch'd. Could I maybe use Farfetch'd to kill the Lucario? Impossible. Like if we do Farfetch'd, then they're gonna have to kill themselves with the Roaring Resolve, and they're probably not gonna do that. They can't actually retreat that easily though, but they do have Scoop Up Nets to recycle that card. So Scoop Up the Lucario, evolve the second Riolu, bench the first Riolu, and recycle. So I don't think Farfetch'd is gonna help us. Okay, we actually have 2 Farfetch'd for a lot of the games for this video. So hope you guys don't mind, because when I first built this deck, I wanted to fit into Farfetch'd. Honestly, even, you know, after the final upgrade, I still feel like 2 Farfetch'd is really good, but we don't have the space for it. We have 1 heavy ball, so I don't think we need 2. 1 Farfetch'd is good enough. If we get it at the right time, if we don't, then we actually get to research for heavy ball maybe or something. We don't actually get to search for that item that easily. But if it's inside the deck, we get to level ball, quick ball, and bench it directly. We can actually search with our Raihan. So Raihan onto Greninja. Always Raihan to your Greninja if you want to, you know, save extra energies. So obviously you only need 1 energy to attack with your Golisopod. if you have extra ones to, to give, then give it to your Greninja. Because Greninja can do something. Okay, we're gonna retreat. We didn't get our Sneasler, so we couldn't attach to Greninja, but that's okay. Well, we actually evolved that already, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. Okay, we're gonna evolve the bench. We actually need a Sneasler for the next turn, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get something with research. We're just gonna bench the Farfetch'd and then collect the knockout right now. Okay, we didn't bench the Farfetch'd, my bad. I think we only have one rod for this list. Oh, right, I think that's it. We have one extra Farfetch'd, but one less rod, and I don't think we have a bucket. We have no Capacious Bucket. I think more supporter cards. I don't know what we have, honestly, but it's a very different list. So that's the reason why I almost conceded just now, because we have not enough attackers. So one rod is not good. That's why eventually I decided on 2 rods and 2 Raihans. I think that's like the best number. So this deck has 2 Raihans and only 1 rod, I think, or maybe even 1 Raihan. I don't really know. I think I saw 2 Raihans just now, but definitely only 1 rod. Okay, they targeted our Greninja, which is kind of a good thing, because now we have a solid double attacker. Greninja may be able to knock out something, but not for sure, because if they have an active Lucario with only 2 damage counters on it, then Greninja can't actually collect the knockout if they have a Manaphy as well on the bench. So killing their Greninja is actually good for us, but I don't think they have a Manaphy inside the deck, or it could be prized, I don't know. That's the reason for killing our Radiant Pokemon. Okay, I don't like taking risks. That's why I attach the energy first before doing the Marnie, because we could quite possibly get a Sneasler. There we go, we got it. Incense for the Sneasler, and we don't need to discard the energy. We got 2 training cards. There we go. 2 training cards, 2 rods. 2 trading cards, 2 Farfetch'd, 1 rod, and no Capacious Bucket. 1 less rod and 1 less Capacious Bucket. Okay, here comes the Sneasler. There we go. 110. Second last prize. And we are only 1 tiny little step ahead. 1 step ahead, just right in the sweet spot to win the game. But I don't think they even evolved this last one. So not enough rods in their deck either. So both players doesn't. Oh, they do have it, but I don't think they could evolve it this turn. They couldn't search for it. So there we go, the last one doesn't have any damage counters on it. If they evolve this one, we can't actually knock it out. So that's the funny thing about this game, is that they could actually survive 1 turn had they evolved the active Riolu. But then they could only draw 1 prize on the next turn, and then after that we actually won the game, because they are forced to attack with the Lucario with the same one. Unless if they bench the second one, in which case we do have Boss Order to deal with that, but we don't have any more Greninja to draw it out. So I think we even have only 1 boss for this list. It's a very early version, this one. Very early version of my Golisopod Sneasler combo. I'm pretty sure they're not playing Inteleon. There we go, they got nothing now. No Inteleon, couple of Scuba Nets, Drizzile, and Lucario. So it's a full stage 1 deck, double stage 1, double the trouble. First impression for the last kill, and we got a win against a Lucario deck. Lucario Inteleon. I would call it Lucario Drizzle now because they got no Inteleon inside. It could be priced. They may be playing like only one copy or two. It actually would be helpful playing the Quick Shoot and the Shady Inteleon as well. So always fit in those two if you're playing Drizzle. I mean, it's always good to have at least one copy of each. I don't honestly like to build Inteleon decks, but sometimes I have to, just because it actually makes the deck like perfect against VMAX. It's super powerful. Like, that's why I love Inteleon decks. And the reason I hate playing it is because I'm actually going against my own principle. Because I normally say that people who play Inteleons are idiots. People who play Inteleons are fucking degenerates. People who play Inteleons are not using their brain, are fucking brain dead. I keep criticizing people who play Inteleons, and I myself sometimes do build decks that work around that engine. But not often though. Only very few. Only when I need to. Okay. We got no Inteleon for this deck, so I'm happy with that. Here comes a 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒆� deck. How are we gonna face against this crazy devour nonsense? Bibarel for Pokemon Go is out, and that card actually prevents your opponent from discarding any card from your deck as long as your Bibarel stays on the bench. So Reassuring Them, very cool new ability. You get to fit in one copy for any of your Bibarel decks. If you play like 3 copies of the Industrious Incisor and 1 copy of the Reassuring Them, you get to, completely nullify a 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅 deck or even a Centiskorch Blastoise deck. Centiskorch Blastoise, fucking retarded nonsense. Centiskorch Charizard, I can understand, but Centiskorch Blastoise and Charizard, oh my god. Okay, here comes Greninja. I think we need a Greninja. We need a Greninja, but we actually searched for a Sneasler. It's a different game. I forgot. It's a different game. So getting a second Sneasler is actually smarter, because that means we get to retreat more easily. We shouldn't be drawing we shouldn't be drawing that many cards with our Greninja, because we want to be saving as much as we can. So now we just need an Incense. Raihan is not gonna help. Raihan is completely useless for this game. So we need something like a Marnie Research. I think Marnie is gonna help out a lot against a 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅 deck, because we are putting cards back into the deck. Shauna, Bruno. But we may not get the right cards though. That's why Marnie is kind of perfect, because you're getting new cards. And getting new cards guarantees you the right pieces. Chinchino and 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅. I think that's like the best one. I don't think you get to play Snorlax or Mew with 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅, because you don't actually get to pass them in turns. Snorlax with 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅 doesn't actually work that well. I think they actually have a Snorlax in addition to the Chinchino, but I would prefer nothing but Chinchino or even Bibarel and 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒐𝒅. I think that's good enough. You don't need the Snorlax. Snorlax is just ridiculous. I hate abilities that end your turn. I just hate them. Except for Energy Attachment like Greening Cells or Roar of the Sword. Other than that, I just hate those abilities. Regal Stance is pretty cool though. I think I only used that ability once. Regal Stance for Zamazenta V. Discard your hand and draw 5 cards, end your turn after. It's not bad. So they got nothing in your hand, no Chinchinos, but we got no Golisopod, so we can't actually knock it out. We can't kill the Minchino right now, unfortunately. Raihan is not helping, So I think we should be attaching to the active, but we actually prepared for the second wimpod, which is the second Golisopod, which is quite silly. Oh, we actually attached the active, my bad. I'm not really paying attention. So if you guys don't already notice, this recording is the voiceover is kind of separate from the gameplay recording, just because I want to focus more while I'm playing the game, because whenever I narrate the situation or, you know, talk about the game while I'm playing it, I normally lose the game because I couldn't focus. Like I'm not giving my full attention to what's happening, like the you know, the circumstance that I'm in, the things that I need to do, how urgent something is, like what decision I need to make. Everything matters in a game, and you need to put 100% of your attention into the game in order to win. Like anything less is unacceptable. If you put 99.9% and like 0.1% to narrate the situation, you're gonna completely lose the game. That's how tight this game is. We got a boss, but we decided to just buy our time and do first impression. We can't actually kill a Snorlax with one hit, so this is the bad thing about it. We have 30 cards left in the deck. Are they gonna be able to? And they just scooped it up. Okay, we screwed up on the last turn. We should have done the boss on the Snorlax. First impression, and then we could have done 120 is not enough though. 120 is not, well, but we got our Golisopod. Well, you never know what you're gonna get though. So we finally get to attach our third energy, but I think we're just gonna retreat right now. Okay, we got our boss. Let's just target something we can kill. We're gonna do our first impression on the Duran without the Curse Shovel. Curse Shovel is gonna get rotated as well, so I have no idea what those mill decks are gonna rely on these days. No more Senti scores for the next set. Next expansion, next rotation. Next rotation is gonna be a bit, you know, far ahead though. We got like a few more months before the next rotation, so I think we're good. No need to worry. Okay, they're gonna be able to discard 4 cards every single turn. Hypothetically, if they put Curse Shovel on every Duran every single turn, they can discard 24 cards. If we do a knockout every single turn, they wouldn't be able to mill us to death. If we don't draw anything, if we don't need to draw anything, we have our training card in our hand. We actually are playing 2 copies of the Stadium for this game. So our second Sneasler would really help against that Galar Mine, because then we don't need to play our Stadium anymore. But I think we got the second stage 1 prize. So our second Sneasler is in the prize. If they discard it, we got our Rod. So having the Rod is gonna help us recycle, you know, replenish the deck for an extra few turns. That's the good thing about decks that have those cards, like Volcarona V especially. If you play Volcarona V against a Duran, it's the best feeling ever, because they're gonna have to re-discard everything. Like if you play a lot of energies in your deck, a lot of basic energies, Volcarona is gonna shuffle them, all of them back into the deck, and they're gonna have to restart from scratch. And if they keep doing that, you can keep on doing Surging Flames. You can keep on attacking with Volcarona for that 1 energy to keep on shuffling everything back. So I don't think there's a counter for that. If you have nothing but Volcarona in play, you're good. But they can actually play, you know, Yellhorn to confuse your Volcarona, I suppose. There's always a counter for everything. Okay, Snorlax. If they are smart, they would actually stall a few turns with that Snorlax and then scoop up at just the right time to erase all the damage counters you know, that buying a few turns is actually going to help them not only get out more 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛s for extra discards, but also to help us draw more cards from the deck. You know, the more turns that they get to stall, the more cards we are drawing from the top deck. So they shouldn't be playing the 𝑐𝑭𝑭𝑬𝑹 that early. It would be smarter to just stall, but you never know what your opponent has in their hand though. They could have a Zigzagoon or something, you know, 𝑐𝑭𝑭𝑬𝑹 Zigzagoon to kill Snorlax. I don't think it's enough though. We need like 2 Zigzagoon to kill it because it has 130 HP. Okay, we decided to play our Stadium, which is our last copy, and retreat because they have Crushing Hammer. We should be conserving as much energy as we can on both the Golisopods. So watch out for Crushing Hammer, Yellhorn. Always watch out for all the control cards that they could possibly have in their deck. Yellhorn as well. 𝑑𝑗𝑚𝑪𝒏𝑶. 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 is slowly getting better and better, isn't it? We got double turbo now for 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 with Brilliant Stars, and with Astral Radiance, we got, what's it called, Hisuian Heavy Ball. So it's slowly getting better and better and better. Pokemon Go, I'm not too sure though. I've seen someone play Pokestop with 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛, kind of baiting your opponent to discard their own deck. Because if they play Pokestop, they could possibly get the items that they need, like their switch cards, into their hand. But if they play too many times, they're gonna be forced to discard or draw them into their hand, basically deck themselves out, right? You're baiting your opponent to deck themselves out with Pokestop, which is kind of quite stupid. Because if you have a 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 in play, they're gonna expect what they're gonna know what you're up to. They're gonna know your game plan. So they're probably not going to use that Stadium at all, unless if they're desperate. So it's kind of, you know, finding that sweet spot of how to make your opponent desperate enough to play that Stadium, to use that Stadium, my bad. And if you use Pokestop, you can't play Galar Mine, so it's kind of a additional, you know, downside to that deck. I don't know. You can search for your Crushing Hammer, Curse Shovel, your what else? Your item cards more easily. Crushing Hammer, Fan of Waves, Yellhorn. Another player, one of the other player that I was matched up against, he plays 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 with, I think it's a female. I think she plays 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 with a Cape of Toughness, and I actually lost that game because 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 was so difficult to kill. I think we played like a 2-hit knockout strategy, and we couldn't get enough energies in time to kill the 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛, and we need like, I think we're only doing 90 damage for the first strike. I don't know what game I was playing. I don't know what deck I was playing, honestly, but because of that extra HP boost, we couldn't kill a 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 with one hit, which is horrible. So there are different ways of playing this card. But if you play like a V deck, it's quite easy to hit 140 damage, right? If you play a one price deck, it's a bit more difficult maybe, I don't know. Because Regigigas, for example, you need Regigigas to hit 150 damage. If you play any other cards, if you have any other cards in the active, I think Regidrago does 160, so I don't think there's any problem. Because Regigigas can kill a 𝑑𝑗𝑗𝑛 even with that HP boost. I don't know what deck I was playing. Like, I was doing so low, you know, the damage that I did was so low that I couldn't even kill a 140 HP Pokemon. It's just ridiculous. Kind of the same as what we are doing right now, 110 damage. I think we're definitely playing a turbo deck. Okay, they are running out of their energies. I don't think they could find their rescue carrier and energies. So that's the bad thing about the event. You need rods in addition to the carrier. I don't think carrier alone is enough. So I think it's the end now. We don't have a boss, so they actually get to stall for an extra turn. Let's just do our first impression because they don't have a stadium card in play. We get to do our 1 energy attack for 110 damage. We should be attaching the energy though, but I don't want to be wasting them. They could play like a Galarmine boss on the Menifee, and then we need to attach for the retreat cost. So it may be wiser to keep those energies, but if they play like, for example, a Marnie and 2 Crushing Hammer right now, if they get 2 heads, they haven't played a single copy, no hammers yet, so I'm quite scared of that right now. If they play like a full 4 Crushing Hammer and get 2 heads on the active, and then a Marnie after that, then we're completely screwed because we got no energies. Well, they need to do Marnie and the Galarmine because we got a training card in our hand, in play. So training card is gonna, give us that energy if they don't play the Galarmine. They got so many Chinchinos. I don't think Snorlax is, I don't think Snorlax is necessary, but it's actually helping them a lot for this game because we couldn't kill it with 1 strike. We need 2 hits to kill the Snorlax, and they are stalling for extra turns with that stupid Pokemon, that fat ass Pokemon. Haha. That fat tanker, oh my god. Get out of the way, Snorlax. Okay. Here comes the last Durant. Do they have a scoop on that? They need to scoop, retreat, and keep on doing that for like 12 turns. Well, not 12 turns. They just need to do it for like maybe 8 turns. And then for the 9th turn, on the 9th turn, they don't have enough scoop on that for 8. They don't have enough, time to stall 8 turns though. So if they can stall enough, they can actually do the Devour at the last second to discard all the remaining 4 cards in our deck. But we may actually top deck like a Bruno, Marnie to put cards back into the deck, or even a Broad. So even then, they still need extra few turns if we get our contingencies. Okay, here comes the Galarmine, and they did a boss as well. We don't have our second Sneasler. Apparently it's in the prize card still, which is pretty unlucky of us. If we got both Sneaslers in play, we could have retreated without the energy. But oh well, we're just gonna retreat with 1. And then we actually won already, killing the Snorlax because they didn't, and they just conceded. They didn't have a scoop of that. They didn't actually rescue themselves. So we won against Durant, which was pretty, kind of rocky just because they have that Snorlax. If they play like a cape on the Durant, we can't kill it as well. So that's the bad thing. I don't think we can win against a 1 prize if they have more than 110 HP. We can kill a Miltank, but we can't kill it if they have a cape. So it's not really that powerful, but we are trying to hit, VMAX and VSTAR decks. If we can kill VSTAR with 2 hits, that's actually good enough because we can actually attack fast. If we go first, we can attack with 1 energy, doing first impression for 140 damage with Choice Belt, or even 110, which is fine. And then collecting the knockout with our Farfetch'd on the next turn, killing a V-Star with only 2 strikes. And that's actually giving us the head start if we go first. If we go second, let's not talk about that, but if we go first, we can actually win the game. We have a good chance of winning just because we are attacking that early. So we are doing really good against VMAX decks, obviously. Partially well against V-Star, I'm not too sure. Just because we couldn't actually match up against that many V-Stars. I think we matched up against Lilligant V-Star and lost the first game and won the second one, but it was quite, it was very short game, so I couldn't It was less than 5 minutes, so I couldn't actually fit into the recording. Couldn't fit into this video because it's less than 5 minutes. Okay. Against one price decks, as I said, if they have more than 110 HP, we don't stand a chance. If they don't play a Manaphy though, we could actually do Moonlight Shuriken with Raihan. So it really depends. If they play like low damage attackers like Hoopa or what's it called, Moltres, you know, the Brilliant Stars Moltres doing very low damage. Moltres now has, you know, the Pokemon Go support, which actually helps you do more damage for your basic fire Pokemon. So if they play Moltres from Brilliant Stars and from Pokemon Go, they can actually do more than 90 damage. But they need all four. It's not possible though. It's not possible for them to knock out our Golisopod with one hit. Because Moltres does only 90 base and they need 4 additional Pokemon Go set Moltres, and they can't actually have 4 if they are playing one from Brilliant Stars already. So that's kind of counterintuitive, right? It doesn't work because they can't fit in all 4 copies of the same Moltres with the ability. So for example, if we play against Lunatone Solrock and if we go first, we can actually win if they don't attack on their first turn going second. If they do, then we are probably screwed because they can actually attack every single turn quite easily, because we can kill a Lunatone or a Solrock with one hit quite easily with our first impression, unless if they do a Cape or a Big Charm. Well, a Big Charm is actually not enough. Well, it's actually enough, my bad. 30 plus 90 is 120. So if they do a Big Charm, we can't kill it with our first impression. That's how bad this attack is, honestly. Like, it's that low, the damage that you're doing. If they play a stage 2, you don't really stand a good chance, unless if, you know, if they can't get the rare candy out in time. If they're playing a stage 2 support is okay, I think we can win, as long as they're playing a V card or VMAX. If they're playing a stage 2 attacking deck, like a Charizard, or like a Charizard is fire, it doesn't really count. If they play like a stage 2 Gardevoir, for example, a Gardevoir deck, Chilling Reign, we can't actually win that easily, unless if we hit faster. If we, you know, collect our prize faster than our opponent, we may be able to win the game, but I don't think we stand a good chance just because we need 2 strikes to kill every Gardevoir. And, you know, if we don't boss the Kirlia fast enough, if we don't use our item cards, we don't have escape rope, so we can actually avoid killing the Gardevoir, and we have no other way to attack other than with Greninja. So if we don't use those cards at the right time, I don't think we really stand a good chance. Even if we do our Moonlight Shuriken, even if we do our boss orders at the right time, I don't think we stand a good chance, because Gardevoir has 140 HP. It's just impossible. So I think I've gone on long enough. I'm going to end the voiceover right here and leave you guys to focus on the game. Today we're featuring the new Golisopod from Pokemon Go and our Hisuian Sneasler for the free retreat, helping us do first impression every single turn. Hope you guys enjoyed this new combo. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people! Enjoy your life!